My research proposal is on the influence of food advertising and social media on nutritional knowledge and food choices. The various components of a food advertising message is key to understanding how consumers will respond and how that affects their nutritional knowledge and food choices. The studies here have mentioned those most influential components of ad messages. Choi and Springsteen found that the message mattered and that their participants had different results depending on what was in those messages. Cornish found that advertisers benefit from biases, pre-existing biases, and that they're able to advertise foods successfully by using health claims that perhaps aren't really accurate or truthful. Shimoga and Zimmerman found that audience targeting and rate were extremely important, and their food advertising, the relationship of food advertising and cognitive load, especially amongst their low socioeconomic participants and their ethnic participants. Kems, Tigerman, and Hullett tested the influence of food advertising and how that translates into action. Now, their participants actually didn't record a specific desire to eat, but their overweight and obese participants did. The use of social media in food risk and benefit communication highlights the advertising shift from modern platforms that are cheaper, faster, and have less regulations. This social media boom we're seeing is a shift away from traditional platforms to more modern ones like Instagram. And on Instagram, we see social influencers, and these are the result of these modern marketing efforts in which an ad markets a fresher, organic, and more subtle message. Given the novelty of both the platform and ad type, there's a lack of current research into this field. This proposal would like to address the research question: how will social influencer ads on Instagram impact adults' nutritional knowledge and food choices? My sample would be a demographic of about 300 participants aged 24 to 29. I'd use random sampling at a university graduate program and staff, and I would recruit them through emails, flyers, and even on site, offering financial incentives and/or extra credit. My ethics would use anonymous results, but would pay attention to demographics answered in a pretest. My experiment would use an SI Girl X, which would have 3 different Instagram types. One would be considered active, inactive, and then a mix of both. And she would post healthy and unhealthy food products. The claims that I would be testing would be whether or not these social influencers influence their audience's nutritional knowledge and food choices. The pretest would determine the stimuli or what would be posted in those Instagrams, and 3 test groups would be asked to follow each different SI Girl X. So we'd have 1 active group, 1 inactive, and 1 normal. Afterwards, I'd ask the participants to rate certain food advertisements that were posted throughout all of the different SI Girl X's, and to test and use those results to test nutritional knowledge and food choices. These would be our different claims, whether or not social influencers do influence or do not influence nutritional knowledge and food choices. And I would get give them a post test to find qualitative information and insights into the mindsets of our participants. Given the influence of many advertising efforts, I think SI Girls X Instagram would absolutely influence them, and her profile would probably influence them as a whole, which would make them more susceptible into buying into the ads displayed. My limitations might be the age range, the fact that it's university specific. If people have a lack of time or don't really have experience in the platform, they may not have a desire or even time to log in. And if the platform is too busy, they may become easily distracted, or given that the participants are anonymous, the demographics might be a little too balanced towards one demographic or another.